Now you had mentioned Hong Kong earlier, and you mentioned living in China. Now I got the chance to visit Hong Kong, man. It's definitely one of my favorite places in Asia. But what was it like, back in the day? Because now it's just so much beautiful architecture and structure to it. Was it always like that, or is that something that just kind of happened recently?
Hong Kong really happened from the 80s on. And that's when I was in Hong Kong growing up. Hong Kong was already a vibrant city. They call it the Pearl of Asia back then because it was the most vibrant city in Asia. Just like almost like Paris in Europe, that kind of thing back in the 80s. And back then Hong Kong movies was very popular. Shaw Brother movies, all that kung fu fighting. Before Bruce Lee even came in. But definitely started with the Shaw Brothers movies, and then on to kung fu era, and then now it's all about cop stories and all of that. It's a little bit of modern tales of love and all of that. But Hong Kong has always been exciting, and I grew up in Hong Kong and went to New York for further study. I studied at NYU and, with a degree in business and all of that. And then in between, I started out as a kung fu
Wow,
man and
wow,
as
that's
a
major. Now I can
yeah.
ask, did you get into I can ask you this. Did you get into the acting first, or did you get into the martial arts first?
First thing I got into was martial art. Was studying taekwondo, karate, Chinese kung fu, wushu, weapons from broadsword to straight sword to stick, which they call a staff, and spears, nunchucks, knife section whips. I've studied it all. Although I don't do as much now because I've become a director and a screenwriter. But from then on, I progressed and to become a ballet dancer, believe it or not. And then from there, I become a jazz dancer. I was one of the earliest, I should say, I was the earliest Asian American jazz dancer dancing, in MTVs and a lot of TV programs. You only see an Asian face, which is mine. So I have a lot of first ever. This is just one of them. And but Hong Kong still remains as one of the most vibrant city in the Orient. They call it. Lots of beautiful clothes to buy and great Chinese food. So if you ever go to Hong Kong, which you've been to Hong Kong, you know, you will find a lot of wonderful food. A bowl of noodles for $5 USD, and it's just yummy, yummy good. All right. I don't live there anymore, but hopefully, if you ever come to Hong Kong, enjoy it. Yes, and if you need a couple of advice, send me an email. Oh, just so you know, my Facebook simple James Pax, and then I have my fan club, which Jenny will send you later. You can just put it on there. Make sure everybody know my fan club and also my Instagram, so that they can join my club and follow me, because there's gonna be a lot of things coming up in 24. I'll be doing more Comic Con tours in Europe and in Australia. On top of that, I'll be doing more acting in Europe and also in Hollywood. And I'll be a director doing a project called Vortex. So remember this, if you hear Vortex, it's called Operation Freedom Nigeria, which I believe is probably near you. And it's a story about Nigeria, a group of light kung fu monks saving a crisis in Nigeria.